Bonjour, my name is Émilie Cousteau. I am a luxury business etiquette and cultural intelligence specialist and your guide to French Art de Vivre. I help successful professionals understand the codes of luxury and navigate cultural differences. In this mini-series, I explore the power of gesture in the way they craft luxury. And today in this episode, I want to talk about tobacco. So we all know that smoking is bad. It's bad for your health, so please don't do it. But I vividly remember from my childhood looking at pictures from Hollywood stars from the golden era of Hollywood and seeing and being fascinated by the glamour that was associated to the gesture of smoking and how glamorous these stars, Marilyn Monroe, Rita Hayworth, Anita Ekberg, how they all looked on these pictures. In France, if you look at icons of French culture, such as Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir, Serge Gainsbourg, or even more recently, Catherine Deneuve, French movie star Catherine Deneuve, very often they are associated with cigarettes. Cigarettes are part of their image. Smoking is part of their image. And I think to a certain extent, it's also associated to the French wit, to the French freedom, and to the French lifestyle, and this kind of like French art de vivre. Recently, a French influencer, Caroline de Maigret, published a book which is called How to Become a Parisian, or How to Be a Parisian. And in this book, she shows pictures of herself in bed smoking. So cigarette and smoking is really, I think very often is represented as the attribute of French seduction and of a certain art de vivre. This is the book by Caroline de Maigret. It's called How to Be a Parisian. And actually, at the very beginning of the book, in the first chapter, which is called Get the Basics, where can you see a picture of Caroline de Maigret in bed with a cigarette, which I don't believe so many Parisian women do. And the second, on the next page, it's called The Parisian as Seen by a Parisian Man. And it's the picture of this woman hastily climbing a flight of stairs. And she is also smoking a cigarette. Interesting. So this association between smoking and freedom or a luxurious lifestyle was probably true in the previous generations. It is less true today because, which is a good thing, less people smoke. But what I wanted to have a look at is the positive image that tobacco or cigarettes had. And as we will see, there is once again the power of gesture explains a lot in the whole story. I want to understand how such a bad thing became and remained a symbol of status for such a long time. So let's delve into this smoking hot subject. So as usual, let's look back at history. And last weekend in Paris, I visited a very beautiful exhibition in Le Marais, in the Musée Cognac-Jet. This exhibition is called Luxe de Poche. It's about petits objets précieux au siècle des Lumières, which you could translate as pocket luxury. And it's all about very small, precious objects in the French 18th century. These objects, very precious objects, were called toys at the time. And there were a few rooms displaying a fantastic collection of these small objects. And most of these objects, the ones that were mostly represented, were two categories of objects. One, bonbon boxes, and the second category were snuff boxes. So bonbon, if you think about it, it makes sense because at that time, sugar was really a luxury good. And not everybody had access to sugar. But tobacco was quite common. It was used across all layers of society. It was not only for the noble people and for the rich people. However, it became something really fashionable thanks to the development of these small precious objects, which are snuff boxes. So why snuff boxes? First of all, because tobacco didn't come in the form of a cigarette as we know it today. It came loose, and you would have to put it in your hand, and then you would have to sniff it. And the way to, of course, carry your tobacco and to have it with you, you had to put it in a box, and hence the snuff box. Here I'm sharing a few pictures from this exhibition, and this one is the picture of a gentleman snuffing, as you can as you can see, and a lady also snuffing. It was not only for men. And the caption of the painting read, Le noble exercice de la tabatière, which means that it was a very noble thing to do, to take out your snuff box and to have some, to sniff some tobacco. It became actually a refined ritual. Well, I find it interesting to notice that from being a very basic product that most people could afford, tobacco became suddenly an emblem of style and of value. The snuff boxes, these small objects, were actually hidden in the pockets, in gentlemen's pocket or in ladies' pocket. And it was when you were a gentleman, you were socializing with your friends or with ladies, you would take out the snuff box in a very civilized demeanor and offer some tobacco to your friends or to the company. So the snuff boxes were retrieved from the pocket with sophisticated gestures, and this is how, from being a simple object, I mean simple, very expensive sometimes because there's a lot of craftsmanship and gold and enamel and pearls and whatever you want, but from being a simple object carrying quite a common product, it became an emblem of style because of the refined gestures and the ritual associated with the exercise, the noble exercice de la prise de tabac, or the noble exercise of sniffing tobacco. And more recently, where snuff box disappeared in the 20th century, we had cigarettes, and you can see this gesture of smoking also was quite elegant. And one of my, I think the scenes that for me is really, really an emblem in France, it was this song by Serge Gainsbourg and Catherine Deneuve, Dieu est un fumeur de Havane. I mean, this was like the epitome of chic. Catherine Deneuve singing, she was also the icon of Yves Saint Laurent. So smoking at that time was really associated with chic and elegance and a certain form of luxury. Now, the really fun fact about all of that is I realized when I was in this exhibition that these snuff boxes, and the one that is actually here on the image by Johann Christian Neuber, it's from the 18th century. It's one of the most beautiful boxes. Reminded me of something, and actually I remember very well in 1987. I was 12 years old at that time. There was a big launch of a new beauty product by luxury beauty maison Guerlain called Les Météorites, which was a kind of pressed powder in a very luxurious looking box. And actually, guess what this luxury box for a beauty product looked like? Our snuff box from the French 18th century. So Maison Guerlain apparently got its inspiration from this snuff box. I mean, if you compare the two pictures, as you can see here, I mean, I think there is no doubt that Guerlain's Météorite box was inspired by the original snuff box. What a symbol, and how an amazing story it is when you actually have the background and you are able to tie this to the past and to what happened 300 years earlier. So as we know, luxury is all about symbols of status, and just like that, this is how tobacco went from being a very cheap and accessible commodity to becoming, the fact of having tobacco, of consuming tobacco, became a symbol of luxury, thanks to the gesture of having tobacco and of sharing it and of pulling out a luxurious accessory in the French 18th century, long before the golden age of Hollywood and long before we had all these marketing and advertising campaigns in the 20th century selling the lifestyle of the wild cowboy of Marlborough. I hope you have enjoyed this new episode on crafting luxury through gesture. Let me know if you have any comments, and also if you wish me to explore some of the gestures that crafted luxury. If you have any ideas or subjects that you would like me to explore, just write it in the comments and I will be very happy to explore them further with you. See you soon on this channel. Au revoir.